Mr. Diaz, come down. Court is calling 2017 CR 9032, State of Texas versus Alfonso Christopher Diaz. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
For the state.
Defense.
Canton Longacre for Mr. Diaz.
Are you Alfonso Christopher Diaz?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
Are you the same Alfonso Christopher Diaz who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2017 CR 9032 for the offense of assault family second offense on September 26, 2017 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes.
State?
Your Honor, in violation of Commission Number 2, on or about the first day of June 2021, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Alfonso Christopher Diaz, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of Commission Number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
And Your Honor, we'll waive the remaining violations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Diaz, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes.
Court would find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Your Honor, we do have a agreed recommendation to enter an adjudication of guilt and to sentence Mr. Diaz to 2 years in the Texas Department of Elections.
Is that the agreement?
Your Honor, that is the agreement.
Mr. Diaz, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. Yes.
Excuse me. Your Honor, we would ask that Mr. Diaz be credited for all the time he has served in this case, which is quite a bit. I think it's 271 days.
All right. So here's my question. What has he done on probation?
Judge, he hadn't done much. To the court, I'm sure he's an absconder. Mr. Diaz felt he has serious mental health needs, resulting from severe head injuries. He felt he wasn't able to get the treatment he needed for it here in Bexar County.
Well, I mean, not really, because counsel, I see that I've heard a previous motion to revoke for him. Now, mind you, this is from 2017. I know I wasn't on the bench on 2017, so I don't know what another judge did. But I know in this court, I always ask anybody, is there anything that they need that I haven't given them? Is there anything that probation is not doing that they feel that they haven't done? So if he didn't have mental health issues addressed, it's because he didn't ask for it. But we were here on April 28th for a violation of 5 and 15F. And I denied those motions, and I said he's enrolled in the BIPP within 10 days of release from custody. And he was allowed to work, and we were asking, and I put in GPS. So has he done anything since he's been on probation?
No, Your Honor. He did not complete the BIPP. I believe he started the outpatient program. However, he was discharged unsuccessfully. No, we have not received any UAs from him. There has not been any payments for any type of fees.
So he has done nothing. What have you done since you're on probation? Would you like to address the court?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to raise your right hand. The state is going to have a chance to question you. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Alfonso Diaz.
All right, what have you done?
I was constantly going.
The court calls the case 2017 County Route 9032, State of Texas versus Alfonso Christopher Diaz. The parties are announced for the record. Mr. Diaz, are you Alfonso Christopher Diaz? Yes, sir. The court proceeds with a motion to enter adjudication of guilt and revoke community supervision. Did you review this with your attorney? Yes, I did. Are you the same Alfonso Christopher Diaz who was placed on deferred?
I did do all of the outpatient program, but I didn't submit a drug test. That's why I was discharged. No, as far as the ankle monitor, they wouldn't take it off of me because they wanted me to pay $200, but you waived the fees and they just wouldn't have it. Me and my probation officer were supposed to talk to you about that, and that never happened.
So basically you have done nothing. Like the easiest thing to do is take a UA. You did not do that. Did you ever take a UA?
No,
All right. So that's something that's easy to do. Am I wrong in that assumption?
you know,
All right. Did you complete the BIPP course?
no, I was never allowed in. I have a proof email. You got a letter for it, an email from the people who do it.
So you're telling me since 2022, you have never been COVID free to do a COVID exam. And actually, there's a motion to revoke that was issued for you July 20th, 2020. And I granted a BF and issued a judge's warrant because you didn't show up. And I'm sorry, it's April 28, 2021. You're telling me that since April 28, 2021, you never tested negative for COVID to start the BIPP course. Is that what you're telling me?
Judge, I have to say, I've never seen an MPR from 2021. The latest I've gotten is from 1920.
No, he didn't. Here it is right here. I think you were not the attorney at that time.
I believe you, Judge. I'm just
Yes.
saying, in my efforts to get all of the motions to adjudicate and revoke, up until this morning, the latest one I had was from 2018. After being assured I'd gotten everything. Finally, this morning, your clerk handed me one dated from 2020, said, assure me that was the last one. I have not seen them. 2020, the one I have in front of me is the last one I've gotten, and I just got it
Do
today.
you want that, counsel? Do you want more time? Because there's one from February 25th, 2019. And on that motion to revoke, he was not revoked and he was told to do certain things. And from that, and then there's a violation report from 2017, which I didn't consider because I was not the judge at that time.
Judge, I'm not sure it's necessary that I see them. What I do want to disagree with, if I may, is that your conclusion that he's done nothing. He wasn't able to complete the BIT program because of the COVID problem.
All right, I hear what you're saying, counsel, but you just told me that he absconded.
I just told you that what I intended to tell you was he believed he couldn't get treatment he needed as a result of the serious head injury that he has here in Bear County. I know that's likely inaccurate, but that's what he believed. Believing that, he elected to go to Massachusetts, where he did get help for that in a number of respects. He obtained a job, which he still has with Walmart for, I suppose it's a union Walmart, for $18 an hour as a stalker. He has gotten counseling up
All
there.
right, but we're in the middle of him testifying. So does anybody want to ask him some questions? Because before me, what I have right now is he's done nothing.
I'll ask some questions.
Sure.
Mr. Diaz, where have you been living while you've been not reporting?
For the last 3 months in Massachusetts and North Adams.
What brought you to Massachusetts?
To seek help because it's a Commonwealth state, and I was immediately getting help for from my PTSD, and also I've been getting memory issues, so I decided to seek help for my for a neurologist.
So, but that was 3 months. So where were you before that time?
I was here. I was living in my apartment. I wasn't leaving. I had severe PTSD.
Yes, that's me. The state states, Your Honor, the defendant, Alonso Christopher Diaz, violated his community supervision conditions. Specifically, on or about June 1st, 2021, in Behar County, Texas, the defendant failed to comply with drug testing as directed by the court officer or an authorized agent of the court, which violates his conditions. Mr. Diaz, how do you plead to this violation? Is it true or not true? True, Your Honor. Are there any objections to the state's motion? No objections. You're honored, M.R. Diaz, do you understand that by pleading true to the violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000? Yes, I understand. Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to the violation?
I was shot at when I was 14, and when I was arrested for the last MTR, I was arrested because I called the police. I was shot at again. And when I was 17 years old here in Bexar County, I was beat up while I was here before 17-year-olds were kept away from the general population.
Okay, have you had any contact with the victim in this case, Molly?
No, not so. No.
Do you have a new relationship?
She's the mother of my other 2 children, but it's purely civil.
And how old are your children?
My other 2, 12 and 11.
So you were in Bexar County. Did you have a phone?
No, I didn't. No.
Did you have a job?
I had lost my job due to me staying inside it too.
Due to what?
Due to me staying inside, it was agoraphobia. I was afraid of going outside for any reason at all.
So this is what I don't understand. One, these are some questions I have. The first one being, did he have permission to go to Massachusetts?
I don't see anything in the system, anything such.
So we have him going to another state without permission. 2, there is treatment for PTSD here. If it would have been asked for, I would have ordered it, and it's not here.
Yeah.
So that's a problem. So what I'm looking at is someone who has behaved as though they're not on probation. And now they're coming to me with excuses as to why I should give them a minimum. And he's had a motion to revoke in 2018. March 2nd, 2018, according to the docket sheet. Then he had another one in November 6th, 2018. And let's say that, I don't know, that judge was like, I'm not listening to you about what you need. I'm not saying that's true, but let's just assume that's true. He came back here July 20th, 2020. A warrant was issued for his arrest. Didn't see him back till April 28, 2021 to address the same allegations that were in the previous motions. And what did I do? I denied it, told him to roll and bip. And he's up here working at a grocery store at Walmart. Well, working at Walmart, I don't know if it's Super Walmart or not. Did you give them a COVID negative test?
No.
All right. So he is trying to tell me, and if this is not what you're telling me, let me know. It appears to me that you're trying to tell the court that you could not prepare or get a negative COVID test since April 28, 2021. And that's why you can't enroll in BIP. So are you telling me that you've had a positive COVID test since 2021?
No.
So he didn't do BIP. He hasn't reported. He left this, not just the county, he left the state without permission. And he's saying he has, PTSD and he can't leave his house, but he sure left his house to go to Massachusetts.
I also left my apartment because there was construction and we got locked in. They lifted the building while we were still in it. So I had no choice but to leave that apartment, and I had nowhere else to live.
Yeah, but I mean, you left with all of your mental health issues that you're telling me that I don't have any documentation of. You left not only your apartment, but you left and went to an entire different state.
Yes.
And I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but I will tell you in undergrad, I took enough psychology courses where I could have majored in it, but I just chose not to because that wasn't a field I wanted to go in. So you're telling me you can't leave your house because of a mental health issue, but all of a sudden, not only do you leave your apartment, which I understand they closed it down, but you're able to get to another state. And how did you get to that other state? Did you take the bus? Did you take the plane?
Drive.
All right. So you drive to an entirely different state. And I'm sure from here to Massachusetts, there is no car that will take you there without stopping at a gas station to fill up. How many times did you stop at a gas station to fill up?
I think 2 or 3 times.
All right. So you drive to an entirely different state. And I'm sure from here to Massachusetts, there is no car that will take you there without stopping at a gas station to fill up. How many times did you stop at a gas station to fill up?
I'm not exactly too sure every 300 miles, but I'm not the one who's getting out.
All right, so you drove there with someone else?
Yes, my wife, my kid.
All right. So he's driving around with his children.
Is there an agreement in this case? Yes, Your Honor. We have a recommendation to enter an adjudication of guilt and sentence Mr. Diaz to 2 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Is that the agreement, Mr. Diaz? Yes, Your Honor. Are you requesting the court to follow this agreement? Yes. Are you waiving your right to appeal? Yes, Your Honor. The court will follow the agreement. Excuse me, Your Honor. We would ask that Mr. Diaz be credited for all the time he's served in this case, which I believe is 271 days. All right, let me ask, what has he done while on probation? Judge, he hasn't done much. Mr. Diaz has serious mental health issues due to severe head injuries. He claims he hasn't been able to get the treatment he needs here in Behar County. I understand. However, I've seen this case before. This goes back to 2000.
It wouldn't be fair to you to teach you a lesson. It would not be justice. I understand that sometimes people have built a new life for themselves and they want to forget about the past and act as though that never existed, but it did exist and you have done nothing. So I'm not giving him 2 years.
All right, Your Honor. Given that's the case, I've already canceled the witness I was going to testify this morning.
Oh, no, he's already pled true. I'm going to sentence you to 3 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence.
Family's going to be homeless if they do this.
And there's to be no harmful or injurious contact with Molly, Mollie, Alvarez. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
He did, Your Honor, under the impression that his sentence was going to be 2 years.
Well, no, because when I asked him, I said, do you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? And he said, yes. So, because this is not a plea bargain agreement, you do have a limited right to appeal, and that right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, and also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is,